Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? This is Uncle Tim from Uncle Tim Reviews. How you doing, Timsters? First, I want to say thank you for bringing your positive energy, your positive vibes to this channel. Thank you for commenting, liking, and sharing. Thank you for your subscriptions. I just want to say thank you for being you. We're going to talk about today, collect what you want. Now, see, a lot of times as collectors, we feel, or just people who buy stuff, we feel we got to buy it all. You know, if Funko brings out a whole new line of Pops, you feel you got to buy all of them to keep up. And I'm going to tell you something. You know, a lot of people say, well, you should just buy sets in Funko, you be okay. A lot of people say when, you know, like certain toy lines bring out certain toys, you should just buy all of them. Or, you know, if, you know, Michael Jordan brings out a whole new brand of shoes, you should buy, you know, the ones that just came out. You know what? From die-cast cars to Hot Wheels to Funko Pops to shoes to gadgets to action figures, video games, movies. I'm into some of everything. And the thing that I want to stop here and say is if you bought everything that came out, you won't have no room. So what I'm advising to you is be a little more cautious with your money. You know, it's your money. You know how much you got to spend. You know if this is going to, you know, put you in a hole or not. And I know a lot of you all are grown and you wouldn't put yourself in a hole. And I get that. So I'm not trying to overstep here. What I'm trying to say is if you're dealing with a limited amount of space, just buy the pieces that speak to you. Did you hear what I just said? If you're dealing with a limited amount of space, buy the pieces that speak to you. See, that's what I'm doing now. You know, back in the beginning, you know, I wanted to keep up with everybody. I was buying the whole line. Back when Spawn and McFarlane came out with the Spawn line, I bought every case, every series of what he had. You know, that wasn't a smart move. But see, that was the only type of line I was into. I had way more action figures everywhere else. But if I would have kept all those action figures then and there, you know, I probably could have flipped them for a hell of a lot of money. But at the time, you know, I flipped them, you know, and again, buy pieces that speak to you. Just don't buy pieces that you don't like. You know, I'm on this Funko fan page, and a lot of people say, why do you get excited about stuff that, you know, they have like 10s and 20s of on the shelf at the store? Because it spoke to me. You know, I bought some Powerpuff Pops for my wife. They spoke to me. And I was like, man, I remember them from my childhood. You know, I said, man, this was funny. I used to watch them sometimes, right? You know, shit, I wasn't no child, but, you know, I watched them anyway, you know, with my kids. So that was something that spoke to me. Masters of the Universe spoke to me. You know, certain figures, you know. And, you know, as far as the McFarlane line, certain figures. G.I. Joe, certain figures. Zoid, certain figures. Dragon Ball Z, certain figures. Transformers, certain figures. Voltron, certain figures. Video game systems, certain systems. Video games themselves, certain games. Family, what I'm just trying to, as far as die-cast cars, same thing. Things that I like. As far as Hot Wheels, things that I like. Jordans, the shoes that I like. You know, I'm not just going to buy any pair of damn near $200 damn shoes. You got to be very careful with all of that. As far as my gadgets, I got to think about those. You know, you have to think about all this stuff. And this is what I'm getting at. Don't overextend yourself, you know, trying to keep up with something. First things first, make sure whatever you get yourself off into, you're going to enjoy. And each piece that you get speaks to you. If it's a video game that you feel you ain't gonna play, don't buy it. If it's a pop that you see over there and you say, man, this spoke to me, pick it up. Toy, pick it up. If it speaks to you, pick it up. I'm not talking about it's over there talking to you, but what I'm talking about is you could understand why you picked it up. You know, that's the whole purpose here. You know, a lot of collectors get carried away and I see them with storage units. And, you know, I know a cat that got about 2 or 3 storage units. And I'm like, dude, what is the purpose? Just buy a bigger house, you know? And he was like, it's cheaper to have the storage units. But how often do you go see this stuff? Oh, man, it ain't that much. You know, I still keep buying stuff. But that's my point. What is the purpose if you don't get to enjoy it? You know, I'm into RC cars. You know, my point is you need time to enjoy some of the stuff. You know, I got wrestling belts here. You need time to enjoy the stuff. And this is what I'm getting at. A lot of times, if you don't have time for certain things, you might want to back up. By me being into a lot of hobbies, different from a lot of people. See, I used to be just into video games for a while, and my whole man cave at the other place was nothing but video games. Every system you could imagine I had. As far as every Transformer, G.I. Joe, I had damn near everything. Why? Because when I get off into some comic books, when I was into it, man, I had all of them. But, you know, over a period of time, you just start selling them like, I'm not into this anymore. And that's the thing. You got to make sure that you in that hobby for the long run before you start investing and start getting carried away. Because trust me, the room that you go to, you want to make sure it speaks to you. It says something about your character. If it's over cluttered, that's the way this start thinking. When your room is cluttered, you're cluttered. And, you know, that ain't no way to do anything. So family, if you out here shopping and you see a figure just because it's on clearance, but it doesn't speak to you, leave it where it's at. You know, having 40 figures that you don't care nothing about, that says a lot. But having 40 figures that you care about, that says even more. Because there's a backstory with each one. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to get in your business, fam. I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money. But if somebody told me about this side of the hobby back in the beginning, I would have understood. I'm not one of those collectors that needs to, you know, subsidize, you know, I'm gonna buy this and I'm gonna sell this inside of it so I get to keep these 3. You know what? Look, I'm not rich. I'm pretty sure a lot of us are not. My thing is, I don't have time for all that. That's a lie. And if you gonna invest in your hobby, you see some pieces that you want. I was looking at this guy who bought a whole collection of GameCube games and Nintendo NES games and Super Nintendo games. He bought a whole collection of Super Nintendo, a whole collection of NES, and a whole collection of GameCube. And I think they charged him, man, the price was so cheap, even I had to say, man, that ain't right. You know, did he steal all this stuff or what? And the guy said this, and he said it in this way, and I had to respect the way he said it. He said, look, I'm done with this. He said, man, my thing is, he said, it doesn't speak to me anymore. And he said, you know, at that point, he said, I got other stuff I want to do. I want to do this and I want to do that. And, you know, and I heard what he said. But, you know, the guy bought all of this from him, right? Then I hear him talking about how he going to sell half of it off just to, you know, keep certain pieces. And I'm like, dude, if you was going to do all that, you could have just let it miss you. You know, because I can make that much of money off of it and, you know, have all of this for free. You know, my biggest thing is if you can come up with 3 of the biggest collections there is, hell, everything else from there is just, you know, you can just go with it. But the price I seen he sold it to him for, I had to put my head down. I was like, man, if I knew, I would have bought it from him. I'm like, I don't know where I would have put all this damn stuff at, but you know me from this channel. I know how to create room. I know how to make room for stuff. And see, that's the thing. You're supposed to know how to make room. Trust me, I would have all over the place. I would have this, man, please. But see, that's the thing. We miss opportunities to build on stuff by underestimating, you know, later on in the market, how much all this stuff costs to get back. But fam, thank you for listening. You know, you guys have been listening and and listening to this old guy over here talk, I just want to say thank you so much. And thank you for keeping the vibe positive here. Thank you so much.